Alright, so I'm gonna give you guys a little update on what's going on if Mike wouldn't fucking use his wrench while I'm recording. Thank you, Mike. Only recording a video. Okay, so let me show you guys what's going on. It's a mess. Why is it a mess? Because it's an M3 conversion and not everything's plug and play like you guys wished. Because I built the E91, which you can see over there, it was a similar problem. There's obviously sedan stuff that isn't for wagon stuff or 5-door cars. So I'm going to kind of go over what I've been doing, and this has probably been like a half day's worth of work. I was here till like 9 p.m. last night, kind of looking at wiring diagrams and just doing what I got to do. Okay, so first thing is the roof. M3 has a full rear center dome light and no side lights. Wagon, because of the panoramic roof, has side lights and no center light. So if I show you this is the Wagon headliner. You can see there's two lights, one right there and one right there. And the F80 does not have that. It just only has a center dome light right there. So to figure it out, you pretty much just take the wires from the center dome light. You look at wiring diagrams, because once the dome light has a left and right side, so you got to figure out the left wiring and the signals and the right wiring and the signals, and you pretty much make your own wires to plug up to there. So what I did is I left the Wagon connectors on the roof and left the wiring down, cut it, and then you splice it and rewire it where it's supposed to be. Then there's a bunch of stuff like this, like for the rear glass and the sensors and all that I actually redo. So the Wagon stuff works instead of the F80 M3 stuff. Same with the airbags, all plugs and play, all spliced. A lot of this is light stuff. F31 has lights here. F80 does not. It has one single light, so you got to extend the wire to go that way and then extend the one to here, and they use different plugs. So if I show you the F80 light, it uses a 3-pin connector, and the F31 uses a 4-pin connector. They still both only use two total pins that are actually in there, but different connectors, so you got to make everything work. A lot of the stuff is plug and play. All the modules are kind of the same, the fuse blocks, all that stuff. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. The only thing that I'm working on now, all the wiring is done except the trunk latch. Completely different connector on the F31 than the F80, and it has a bunch more wires, a fuse, and another bigger ground. So I'm kind of figuring it out, and I'm about to look at some wiring diagrams. That's the hardest part that I'm working on right now. So it's not that hard, but it takes a lot of time, and a lot of people don't like to do these things because they don't really give a shit about everything being functional. I mean, you could plug none of this in and have like a couple error codes that are just hidden, and some of the lights in the rear don't work and the rear seat lights don't work, and a couple other things. But why not spend the extra day and kind of make everything functional? I think it's better that way, and I think it's better when you put this much time and money into a car and everything works versus just slapping what you think's right and making it functional somewhat. I think it's way better this way. So stay tuned. I'm gonna keep you guys posted. I'm doing the rear part of the wiring harness first, and then we're gonna bolt on the front part. It's kind of just laid out, and we got to put out the engine bay harness also, which I'll show you guys how that works also as well. Okay, so I just want to show you guys. I found the pinout for the rear tailgate glass, which is this is the signal right there. Luckily, it wasn't too hard to find. I'm gonna de-pin the whole trunk mechanism on the actual F31 harness because it's completely different than the F80 harness. Use some of the correct signals, add new grounds, and I think there's another power wire that needs to go to it. And so yeah, we're gonna pretty much make everything functional, even the rear glass, which usually people get a little lazy and don't do, but not us. So quick update, D-pin, this is the Wagon harness that goes to the lock module, the latch. because the F31 one is on the chassis and the F81 is actually on the trunk right here. It's not a latch like this. So, depinned everything. Depinned the fuse, depinned the ground, depinned all the signal wires, and I know exactly where they go. In there. Time to show you guys my Costco box of bag of goodies. Some modules, and every bolt is labeled from the F80. Everything. Don't judge me. Bring back my stock parts. While I was bolting some of the modules on the trunk, realized there's something missing, and it's massive. I didn't know what this module was because there was these two connectors. These two, I didn't know where they went. Looked at the Wagon stuff, didn't know what this was, looked it up. It's actually the tailgate control module, which the F80 has no wiring for. Luckily I kept these off the Wagon that go up into the tailgate, and then this whole connector does not exist. So we're gonna pin it out and see what happens if that will make our tailgate work. But it's coming. We're just buttoning it up, putting the interior back together, and then we're gonna slap the motor in. A little update for you guys. Just wanted to show you that there was a lot more stuff that I thought we had to. Didn't think we had the wire that we do. I feel like I keep finding shit that pisses me off. Where's that module? But either way, the F31 has its own tailgate module. And that's what these plug into from the original harness from the F31, which you keep, which is wires all the way up. And then the power unit is not on the F80 module, which is this connector that we cut off. Didn't cut off, we actually depinned it from the F31. And we just connected the CAN bus signal, which is going to give us pretty much talk to the module, and then this is the new fuse for it, which is the exact same fuse where it's supposed to be, and then now we're going to wire up the ground. So that's what we're doing now, and it should be the last piece of the puzzle. The only other thing is there's two wires that I have to hook up on that same module that goes to the defroster for the quarter panel windows, and yeah, then Mark said he can get the motor in 12 minutes if we find him. What's he doing? Alright, so after all the wiring and putting some of the dashboard back together, I want to test out some of the modules and make sure a lot of the components are working. So I'm plugging in the cluster, the iDrive, the start button, and probably the HVAC system just to make sure the vents and stuff open. So that's kind of where we're at right now. And yeah, before I put it on the dashboard, I don't want to remove it again knowing that something's not plugged in correctly. Just so you guys know, I'm the one that told Mike, why don't we test everything before I take the dashboard out for the 9th time if I need to, just like the 91. And he was like, no, but trust your ability. You're way better than me at building wagons. I was like, no, let's test it. Isn't that right, Mike? He's just speechless because he knows I'm right. Battery right next to our mopper. That's exactly where I like it. You have to use the F80 battery. These are only like 3,000. Can't you see I'm filming? This is why he doesn't film anymore. He's not direct.
Nope. Sound of success, guys. Wipers going off. Cluster is on. And it's dumping out. Dumping out. Look, the car's peeing. Oh, that's fuel! Kill it! It's dumping fuel. Look, guys, this is all gas.
Why would you lie to me? He knew the whole time, too.
Well, at least you know the fuel pump works.
Fuel pump works great.